So I hope you're noticing that this is a two-part problem. So you have parts A and B, and if you get part A wrong, you're going to get part B wrong. So don't get part A wrong. Here we go. Step number 1, read the problem. A bookshop has 4,320 books and magazines. It has 2,169 books. The rest are magazines. The question is, how many magazines does the bookshop have? Step number 2, write the answer statement. There are blank magazines. Step number 3, draw the starting line. Step number 4, who or what is the problem about? It's not about the bookshop, but it's about books and magazines. You're not comparing anything in this particular part. And please notice that they gave you the whole number. Look at what it says. There are 4,320 books and magazines total. And then it gave you a part. It says there are 2,000. Let me check off. Okay, that's the total. And then it gives you the part, 2,169 books. And then the rest are magazines. And this is your unknown. Now, once again, you've done this enough to know that when you're given the whole number and you're given the one part, you subtract to find out the other part. Now, please be very careful with your regrouping. 10 ones minus 9 ones is 1. And you need to regroup again. 11 tenths minus 6 tenths is 5 tenths. 200 minus 100 is 1. So far you have the answer. There are 2,151 magazines. Okay, keep that in mind because you're going to be using that for part 2. Part 2 says this. There are 1,493 women's magazines and the rest are sports magazines. How many sports magazines does the bookshop have? So the answer statement will be, there are blank sports magazines. Okay. Step number 3, draw the starting line. Step number 4, who or what is the problem about? It's about magazines. Now, this is when you're going to need the answer from part A. You already have the total number of magazines. I'm going to circle it right here. You know that there are a total number of 2,151 magazines from part A. Now, this time you're trying to find out how many are the sports magazines. Okay, well, they told you that there are 1,493 women's magazines. So we are writing what we know. These are the women's. And then your unknown is how many sports magazines are there? Here we go. Once again, you're given the whole number, the total number, and you're given one part. And you're trying to find out the other part. So you're going to take your total number of 2,151 total number of magazines minus 1,493. All right. Let's make sure that Mrs. Johnston is doing the regrouping correctly. And then you can't do 4 tenths minus 9 tenths. So you have to do 14 tenths Regroup again. 10 hundredths minus 4 hundredths would be 6 hundredths. So your final answer is that there are 658 sports magazines. Does your answer make sense? Yes, because if you add 658 plus 1,493, then you end up with a total of 2,151. Moving right along. Your next problem is also a two-part. You have to get part A right in order to get part B right. So let's get part A right. Step number 1, read the problem. Ray's rope is 1,452 centimeters long. Hannah's rope is 379 centimeters longer than Ray's rope. How long is Hannah's rope? That is your question. So step number 2, write the answer statement. Hannah has an H. Hannah's rope is blank centimeters long. Step number 3, draw the starting line. Step number 4, who or what is the problem about? Did you notice the keyword longer than? So you know you're comparing. Who are you comparing? You're comparing Ray's rope and you're comparing Hannah's rope. Ray's and Hannah's. Who has more and who has less? Well, it says that Hannah's rope is longer, so she has more, and Ray has less. Okay, let's go ahead and check off what we know. Ray's rope, it tells us that it's 1,452 centimeters. And I'm just going to do a random long bar for Hannah's. That is our unknown number. Let's do an ending line to make it easier for us to see. Again, 2 ways of doing it. You could do the dotted line strategy and put the 379 up here because you know that Ray's has that many less. Or if you are more visual in the other way, to say, well, you know, I know that Hannah's starting off with the same number of centimeters as Ray's, but she has 379 more, and that gives me her total number, the unknown number N. So off to the side, you will do the next step of adding the 2 numbers together to get your total number of, that's right, 1,831, let's put cm, centimeters long for Hannah's rope. Keep that in mind because we're going to need that information to do part B. Step number 1, read the problem. Ray uses 645 centimeters of his rope. How long is his remaining rope? So the answer statement is, you can say something like, his remaining rope is 600 centimeters. Or, what am I saying? Blank centimeters long. Okay? So that's what you're trying to find out. Step number 2 or 3, draw the starting line. Step number 4, who or what is the problem about? This time it's just Ray's rope. Step number 5, draw the unit bars and label. Well, guess what? You already know that Ray's rope from before is 1,452. So that's his total. His total number is 1,452 centimeters. And then it's saying he is using up 645 centimeters. He's using it up. Now let's do the shading strategy. That part is gone. So you're trying to find out the remaining number, which is the letter N. So you know that it's going to be a subtraction of 1,452 centimeters minus the number that he uses, which is 645. Let's subtract. We're going to regroup. Make sure I'm doing this right. This is 14. So he has 807 centimeters remaining. So this was a subtraction problem. Total number minus the number that he used up. So the remaining is 807. So step number 8, yes, that makes sense.
Does it make sense, Ms. Rice?
Makes sense to you too.
Ms. Rice, does it make sense? Ms. Rice. Oh my.